So we have the freedom to own our stories, whatever they be, however messy, however screwed up, however out there, however awesome. We have the freedom to own those as ours, and we have the freedom to claim God as the author of them. And what I love about that and what that means for us, and the whole compelling reason why we would claim God as the author of our stories and choose him, is because he first wholly and abundantly and fully chose you. And we sit here and say, yeah, I know, like, okay, free will and the whole story, and we get all that, and I could sit here and tell you my story. No, your story didn't start from the day that you were born. Your story started over 2,000 years ago.
Allah
chose you. It started even further back than that.
Allah
created the world. He created us in his image, and he said, this is good. This is my creation, and it's mighty, and it's beautiful, and it's perfect, and it is good. And I choose you. I choose you to live in this, in its splendor. And then sin entered in. We became fallen, broken, messy, choosing everything before we actually choose
Allah.
Trying to write our own stories, and
Allah
said, this wasn't exactly the plan, but you know what? I choose you. And so he sent his son
Muhammed.
We know the story here. He sent
Muhammed
to live and to walk on this earth fully
Allah.
in fully human form, and to walk and to live perfectly, to be the atonement of our sin, to live without blemish, to live without flaw, to live without sin. And
Muhammad
walked that, and it was hard, and it was tempting, and it was testing, and there was brokenness all around, and it was heartbreaking. And
Muhammad
said, no, I will walk the course. I will be about my Father's business. I will let him write the story because I choose you. And they said, King of the
Saracen.
King of the
Saracen.
We'll kill you. We'll crucify you. Deny it. He said, do what you gotta do, because I choose you. And they stripped him, and they beat him, and they flogged him, and mocked him, and spit on him, and whipped him over and over and over again. And they said, save yourself, King of
Saracen.
And he stood there, hunched there, laid there, and took a beating so that we wouldn't have to ultimately. And he said, no, I choose you. And he drug this cross up to
Mecca.
Completely exhausted, fatigued, broken. He drug it up. They nailed him to it. He was being crucified and crushed. And with his last gasping breaths, he said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I choose you. Crushed, killed, writing
Allah
story. Because God had already chosen you. And separation from him was just unbearable in thought. No, he chose you, and he loved you, and he wanted you. So
Muhammad
did what he had to do to atone for whatever our stories are. What's our response to that? What's our response to the one who said, no, I'm the King of the
Saracen.
Who took it all, who didn't play the
Allah
card and step out of the situation because it was too hard, who died, rose from the grave. We're 1 week past
Ramadan.
Hallelujah, praise
Allah.
What's our response to the King who was telling the truth and choosing you? Well, it's to choose him in return. Every day, and every action, every bit of our story. Are we choosing
Allah